Samia, do you know of any Palestinian women in living in the Israeli state?
Yeah, many. I mean, we have many colleagues from inside the 1948 area, and up until a few years ago, you know, when when the wall wasn't built yet, and so on, there was much more contact, and still there is contact actually, even though with the wall and the checkpoints and so on. I don't know, I mean, I can't speak for women living inside Israel, Palestinian women, but in a way, I think their predicament is even harder than ours, because there is this sort of loss, not just of your rights, your land, your presence is not recognized, but also there is this loss in memory and history. The fact that the Palestinians cannot learn about their history in schools, and their language is not affirmed. This makes it even more difficult for them, and particularly women, because women are sort of stronger educators for their families. So it makes it even more difficult for them. I have a friend in London, she comes from Berlin, and you know, she has this tendency that she watches all the historical series about, I don't know, the dynasties that lived 700-800 years ago, the Islamic dynasties. And I was always asking her, so why are you into this? She said, because in schools we never learn our history. So this is for me one way of reconnecting and understanding. We know much more about Herzl, and we know much more about the establishment of the State of Israel than we know about ourselves. So I think that by itself makes it much tougher for Palestinians inside Israel. For us, we are communities that through education, through in a way having the elites not dispossessed, made it easier for us than for Palestinians inside Israel.
So I think one of the difficulties that Palestinians inside Israel actually do face is the issue of identity. So for them, saying that we are Palestinians in front of Israelis is, for the Israelis, is an issue. For the Palestinians, it's not. So making sure that the Israelis do understand and recognize, which is a different level actually, that they belong to the Palestinian nation is one of the, I think, one of the issues in the relation between the Palestinians and the Israelis. And Israel did all it can since the day one to make sure that they do not belong to the Palestinian nation. And that's why they were all these years called Arab Israelis, which today, I think, after a huge amount of political activism and awareness being raised by various political parties, by NGOs, by grassroots movements, to make sure people are not ashamed of saying, no, I'm not this Arab Israeli, and at the same time questioning, what does that mean? I mean, there's no Arab, there's Iraqis, Syrians, Palestinians, Egyptians. You cannot be that weird existence called Arab Israeli. But at the same time, I have also to say that Israel does everything it can as well, so you would remain within your community, which is, it might be seen as contradictory, but if you really understand the history of Israel, I don't think so. So it will discriminate against you no matter what. So even the 1% of the population that actually serves in the Israeli military, they still live in a way in a miserable life in their own villages or own underdeveloped communities. But really, facing discrimination in every aspect of life make you all the time, even in moments when you do not realize where you live and who you are, and let's say you are still 16 years old and you do not have a clear definition of your identity, it's a matter of time only when you will figure out, I applied to this job and I'm not accepted because I am Palestinian, although I am a full citizen of the state. The nearing Jewish town is much more developed. It has a college, it has a university, it has a park, it has a school, it has I don't know what, and my town does not have all these because I belong to this language called Arabic, and my language only in the laws is acknowledged as an official language. Nobody speaks it, none of the officials. And again, it's only a matter of time. So even if you don't grow up in a politicized house, even if you go to the schools and they'll teach you Herzl and they'll teach you the history of the Ottoman Empire, but never really the history of the Palestinian nation or whatever, then it's a matter of time again until you realize really where do you live and what's going on. And I think recently, if those who established Israel thought, okay, I mean the program, now I forgot the sentence, or actually who said it, but it was something like, we will kill those who exist now, and those the newer generation will forget. But here we are in 2015, and I think the sense of belonging to the Palestinian identity has been much more is much more stronger than it used to be, and it's I think Palestinians all around the world, those even who do not have never visited Palestine, think and believe they belong to this place. And amongst Palestinians in Israel, it's much clearer, and the more Israel is, taking clearer racist stances, the more it becomes, okay, this is not really only a question of a minority living in the state. Like, as long as Israel defines itself a Jewish state, the democracy will not save anyone in that place. It's this very basic definition of the state already, without speaking about anything, excludes you and marginalizes you, regardless of anything.
Well, it's